It's been 84 years, but we're back, baby. Welcome to Tales from Beyond Crow Lane. We're going to start the same way we always do with some introductions, and maybe let's do it a little bit different this time, and I'll go first. Hi, my name is Reader Snail. You can find me on most places on the internet at Snail5e, except for that one place that I'm D&D5e, and that other place that I'm the Gamer Snail. You can also find me with the sore throat today, which is great for a day of DMing, because it's a day where I have to talk a lot. That's me. Hey, Bree.
Hey everyone, I'm Bree. I use she, her pronouns. You can probably find me biking around in the nude for climate justice. Yeah.
Hot. Slay. Thank
Where
you.
specifically, actually?
Thank you so much, Bree. Diana.
Hi, I'm Diana. You can find me most places at Sapphic Stregonona, or just Sapphic Strega, or wherever the fuck Bree's going, because support climate change, people, or support climate change, support climate justice,
Diana,
people. Climate change is bad.
Change lover.
It's the thing that's gonna get me canceled. Anyway, lovely to see you.
Thank you, Diana. Jess.
Hello, folks. I'm Jess. I use she, they pronouns. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet seriously. You can also find me completing your commissions. Hey, have you thought about maybe getting a D&D character commissioned today? Hey, have you looked at our overlay and gone, wow, those are some damn nice character art? Well, that's me, and I have my commissions open, so you should commission me. Thank you very much, and bye.
That was a great pick. Thank you. Next up, well, I don't know why they muted, because it's TT.
Oh! Hi, I'm TT. They any pronouns. Bye.
Thank you, TT. Next up, last but certainly not least, James.
Hi, everybody. I'm James. I use she, they pronouns. You can find me on... I've been trying to get this in my head for some reason. It won't stick today. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at TTRPGay. And Instagram... No, I just said that one. And pretty much everywhere else a nice one, James. The problem is my brain kept trying to say Twitch. I'm not on Twitch. You can try to find me. You won't, though. I mean, it's not important. Anyway, hi. My brain's not working. That's golf.
Play.
I got for you.
Putt hit it. Thank you,
Putt hit
James.
it.
And in our lovely producer seat today, we have Sable. Everybody say hi, Sable, in the chat.
Hi, Sable.
Hi, Sable. Great. We're gonna do announcements. Hey, what are you doing on Wednesday? Nothing? Want to come hang out with us? Come hang out for the next episode of Tales from the Archives Reverie this Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna have fun stuff happen in it, and you can come join us there for it live. If you missed it, the last episode that was 2 weeks ago, you can check it out on our YouTube, youtube.com/Starlight Tales YT. That's us. You can check all of our VODs there. You can also follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Starlight Tales _. One day, we'll be able to remove the underscore from our social media names, and all will be good. But today is not that day. So for now, the underscore is important if you want to find us. If not, I don't know who you'll find. It'll be a mystery. You can also join us on Discord. You can also buy our merch. It's comfy, it's cozy. You can also buy some dice, ! Dice in chat. Use code Starlight10 for 10% off your Die Hard dice order. Everybody needs dice, all the time, always. You can also support us by joining us over on Patreon. Patreon.com/StarlightTales. It's a fun month. I mean, it's always a fun month over on Patreon. However, this month especially is a fun month. We just posted am I allowed to say what we just posted? Is that something that, okay. We just posted a family tree of the Oaks family, which is one of the main families in our Reverie campaign. So if you're sitting watching Reverie and going, who's that guy? And what's that name? And I don't know, who? Boy, oh boy, do we have visual aids now? Very exciting. And more things will be happening during the month. So be sure to head on over and join us there. We also, guys, exciting news, 2 Crow Lane episodes in a row. we'll see you next Sunday for the next episode of Crowcolts. Is that all the announcements? Great. We're going to pass things over to the intro, and I'm going to take a sip of water. See you in a bit. On the last episode of Tales from Beyond Crow Lane, our party had a tearful reunion with the youngest Crowcult child, Nadette, who had been kidnapped by Rose's evil ex. Not the 7 of them, just the one, Emil. After a long, hard-fought battle with Emil, the family emerged victorious and picked up Emil's dead body and took it on their ship to go drop it off to the King and Queen of Gloomwild. Because that's a normal sentence that I thought I'd be saying about this campaign. On the way there, weird things happened on the ship, including but not limited to Riva dream, Tennant noticing that the ship is weird, Ruby noticing that Tennant is no longer aging, and normal reactions to all 3 of those things. Oh, also, Ruby Sr. Eyes weird? Eventually, the family made it back to Gloomwild and was able to drop off the body of Emil to Emil's sibling, Elise. Elise and Rose had a heartfelt conversation, and the family returned all of the items that they borrowed from the Wretch King and Queen, and were able to set off on their way to Merc Hollow. Tennant is captaining the ship, steering the ship, I presume? Great.
Yeah.
You are on your way. It will take you approximately 3 hours to get there. What are people doing over the next 3 hours?
I think
Feeling really
Ruby-
uncomfortable. That the ship is all weird and we can't figure it out.
I think Ruby's sitting in the crow's nest, just sitting and looking out and doing her like guard dog thing, but also is just constantly every 5 seconds like looking at Tennant really, really hard and like not even bothering trying to hide it, and then looking back out into the sea.
Yeah, I'm burning a hole through the ocean floor. Refusing.
The ocean floor in space.
It's fucky wucky. We don't know. Yeah.
At some point in this journey, if it's okay, I would love to actually go find Riva, because I did just remember I told Rodella I would do that. Sure. Where are you?
I think after staying up late so Tennant can get some rest, I think Riva is probably what is it called? Kitchen in a ship, a galley. Is that what it is? I think
Yeah.
so. Is in the galley. She's made herself a pretty shitty cup of tea and is just sort of like taking a little cat nap in a back corner.
Sure. I think Rose sort of like starts, like by the time Rose goes to find you on the deck again, you're gone. And so ends up sort of like anyone on the deck just sees Rose kind of like walking back and forth like a cartoon, going from room to room looking for Riva. and eventually I think like walks in the door of the galley, sees you, panics and walks out, stands in the hallway and goes, "Okay, this is fine. It's fine." And then I will kind of walk in and very gently knock on the doorway. Reva?
Yes.
Hi, I'm sorry. Will you sleep? I can go.
I think you see like sort of like Riva sort of pinch the bridge of their nose and sort of like rubs their eyes a bit. No, it's fine.
I just wanted to check in on how you were feeling. Takes like a very awkward 2 steps into the room.
I'm like racking my mind over now 24 sessions. Has anyone done like a feelings check-in with Riva before?
Woof. I'm not like other girls, what can I say?
Cordella all the time. They just stopped.
A little tired, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Right, I did you, not a judgment question, just did you sleep last night? Because I might be able to help if you want help with that.
I feel like I've been asking for a lot of help from different people.
Well,
Different
you're
things
not asking
lately.
this time, I'm offering, so it's different.
I think you see physically, there's like sort of, I think Riva usually always has a sense of like hackles raised, but I think you see her relax her shoulders. I'll take it.
Yeah. Rose will kind of walk the rest of the way in, and I think sit across from you at this table in the galley and just sort of like very like gently offer her hand out to you.
And I think Riva reaches out.
Yeah. I think Rose takes your hand, and there's just a moment where they kind of squeeze it and like nothing happens, and it's just like she meets your eye in a very level way and just sort of like squeezes your hand in a like I'm here with you kind of way. And then I will cast Greater Restoration. Give me that level of exhaustion. It's mine now. And I think when this magic kind of swirls around, it's right now, Rose is in winter, and so I think it's sort of that smell of like really crisp, really cold morning air and pine, like pine trees.
I think at the smell of pine pitch, I think like Riva inhales deeply and is like
Yeah.
brought back to the smell of like a freshly built ship.
Yeah.
I think you see a little color return.
How's that?
That's lovely, my dear.
Yeah. Good. Good. I'm glad to be able to help where I can.
Thank you.
Yeah. How's and like I think Rose's eyes kind of drop from yours and then flick like through her eyelashes up at the crown and then very quickly kind of drop back down to the table.
Quiet. So far, very quiet.
Is that usual?
I think that our business relationship may have soured.
Right. I don't really know how to start this conversation because you don't know. I'm just gonna. Ithios was speaking to me for a while, and I just wanted to ask you if they had told you about the prophecy bit.
think I pause for a moment. And then I look at the teapot and like pour sort of a little cup out and pass it over to you.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Hang on. I have the exact wording. Let me just grab it real quick. Please hold. Can I find it in my notes before I can find it in the lore doc? Is the real question. No, I think it's down here. I should have been prepared, but I wasn't.
No, you're incredibly prepared. This is wonderful. This is the sound of tension.
So true. Just read it too. This is the problem with having thoughts at 3 in the morning and then going, I'll figure it out later.
I think
gosh,
we
where is it?
watch as like tea leaf sort of settles in the cup.
I found it. Yeah. I think Rose sort of like clears their throat a little bit. So I know the only a mother can wear the crown in, and doing so starts the actions of the prophecy. And I mean, there was a bit about like the sun shining again, and the people. Ithios mentioned something about their people raising up that person as like a prophet, I guess. I can't think of a better word. But I do know that if you walk into Merc Hollow wearing that crown, we are, like it or not, beginning Ithios's hopes, plan, and I think the group needs to know, but I don't know that it's my place necessarily to bring it up. So I don't want to speak for you, but
I think I take this in. I hold the cup. And I bring it to my lips. And I don't take a sip. What you see sort of is like Riva's eyes calculating for a moment. And then you see like a little something flit across her eyes. And then she sets the glass down without drinking. What I do and say, there are some things that I can do and say, and there are some things that I currently cannot. I trust you. Thank you.
yeah,
But understand that there are limitations to what I can do.
right.
I do not believe you are under those same limitations.
I am not. No.
How do you think?
No, sorry.
I think Riva sort of bites her lip. And there's sort of like a frustration over not being able at being held hostage, essentially.
Sure.
She looks over to you, and there's like steel in her eyes. I trust you.
Thank you. And I think like as Rose sort of like keeps like meeting your eyes and then breaking your eye contact, I think without even a roll, like what Riva can pick up on is that Rose is really trying not to look guilty this whole conversation and just like wants to meet your eye but can't. I can speak with the family. I understand you're in a difficult position, so if I can... It's desperate, Riva. Desperate. And I know that you and I have had our disagreements lately, but if there's one thing I know about you, it's that you are a very shrewd business person. And if there's one thing that I think you can handle, it's a desperate person. So I guess what I'm saying is I trust you too.
I think there's a little bit of playfulness as like Riva tries to like hold your eye contact even when you're darting away.
Sure.
I think you've proven yourself more than capable of handling the family business.
I think this specific phrasing, Rose's eyes kind of like jump back and hold on you. Thank you. That's very kind.
I believe that we will have to fulfill our end of the contract and help with Ithios's plans to the extent that we have agreed.
Right. I understand. Kind of like hold your eye contact, and I understand that you have made your agreement, and so we will do what has to be done in response to it.
You know, it was a sad bit of business with Emil.
Rose's eyes, I think, drop again.
You know,
Yeah.
years ago, Riddell and I put a lot of resources and made a business deal with Emil. And it's unfortunate that they didn't fulfill their terms.
Kind of like glances up at you, like squinted eyes a little bit, like waiting to put the pieces together.
I think it's also unfortunate that in our dealings with Ithios, these business terms may not be kept.
I think Rose's eyes kind of flick up to the crown again and then back to you. Right. Well, I suppose that's a bridge you will have to cross when you come to it. And of course I'll speak to the others about, how they feel and our business and such.
You could share with them the prophecy. I think that would be wonderful.
Of course, yeah.
I understand our current business partner, although quiet, may be watching me quite intently to make sure they get what they want.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Just if you need anything, let me know.
Will do. But also, if anything needs doing, you have my permission to act without my approval.
Right? I will keep that in mind. And I think there's just sort of this moment where Rose like looks at you and that guilt flashes across again, and she just sort of like reaches across the table and very gently puts a hand on your arm and just squeezes it and looks at you for a second.
I think I take the hand that you've put on my arm
Mm-hmm.
and I grab it and I give it a squeeze.
Mm-hmm. Just, I think, little nod. Right, okay. Well, I should go speak with the others. Do you, kind of like looks into your cup? How empty is it?
I think it's full.
Do you want me to heat that up for you?
No, it's fine. I made a terrible pot. I might as well make a new one.
Right. Well, kind of like while standing, you know, I know that not everyone makes it as good as I do on our little weekly catch-ups. So if you need any help,
You know, I think I'll take you up on that offer.
okay, I will. The usual.
You know what?
Hmm.
Maybe it's time to do something a little different.
Shall I surprise you then?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. And Rose will kind of reach down and pick up the 2 cups, and then eventually come back for the pot. And we'll very quietly and meticulously make you a new pot of tea. And just kind of very gently slide the cup across the table to you.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like there's about 1,000 things they want to say, but instead just kind of nods and leaves the room.
But before you
go.
leave,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put an arm, or put my hand on your arm, and give a
Mhm.
gentle squeeze.
I think mirroring that, Rose puts her hand on your hand and squeezes back. And, yeah. I will leave the room and eventually try to find the whole group, except for Rita.
Sure, yeah, you can start gathering the group. Anything anybody wants to do before Rose gathers you all?
I think while Rose is talking to Rita, Rodella was still out on the deck, and I think she's kind of look. Is it just Tennant and Ruby out on the deck right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I would say Ruby Senior is sleeping. And I don't know if anybody's seen Ward since getting back on the ship.
She's on the ship, though, right?
Yeah, everybody got back on the ship, and then
Okay.
Ward just kind
Oh,
of
fuck,
walked.
guys,
Actually
we
left
left
her on the
We left
planet.
them behind.
Oh my
Just
god.
standing on the dock like, hey, guys.
Ward's Home
Fucking
Alone
Kevin
episode.
from Home Alone.
No,
We're just washed.
Ward went off in her own space, and I don't think anybody's checked in on her, but she's not on the deck.
I think Rodella takes a minute and looks up at Ruby, kind of crouched in the crow's nest, looks over at Tennant, who's boring a hole through the astral, and just kind of looks between them for a second and kind of fidgets a little bit.
Yeah, you're two emo fuck children.
Just-
You will not look at each other.
And I think after a minute, Rodella's feet kind of start taking her towards Tennant, and then do a very as soon as they're too close, do a very swift turn and goes to the crow's nest. And I think Rodella just kind of takes a deep breath and climbs up, and then all of her bones are creaking, and she's like, "Oh God, this used to be so much easier." And then she gets up
Leaning
to the top.
over the side by the time and has just been watching this silently. Just really
I think you can see just some sweat dripping down Rodella's brow, and Rodella glances up at you and gives you a very clear don't you fucking say a word kind of face.
I think Tennant also kind of after maybe 10 seconds of huffing and puffing, kind of and watches with abject interest.
we get just a moment of confused eye contact between them. That's just what the fuck is she doing?
Rodella gets up there and immediately move and kind of crawls up next to Ruby and leans back against the mast and just kind of
Kind of shit. We're in deep space, so
I didn't think that would be as hard as it was. Your mother's getting old.
a lot of that going around.
Huh? I think Rodella just kind of leans back and sits there for a minute, and is kind of like glancing down at Tenna every once in a while. But other than that, doesn't really like say anything. But I think this is, despite the fact that they just huffed and puffed their way up here, this is probably the most relaxed they've been in a minute.
This is so weird for Ruby. She's kind of trying not to freak out so hard right now because she's like, what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing in my space?
She's just like, okay, usually when she corners me like this, it's because there's a lecture coming, but there's no lecture, so I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I think Rodella just kind of like stares out at the astral and just kind of just kind of relaxes for a minute, even though like so much shit has been going on. Nadette's on the boat.
Yeah.
And everyone is here, and at the moment no one's screaming at each other, and she just kind of leans back and just breathes for a little bit.
I think like there's a good like minute of this where Ruby is just like staring at them really hard and then is like looking around like, is there something that I'm missing here? But then after it you've kind of like settled in, kind of goes back to what she's probably been doing just to keep her hands occupied, which is making more arrows, and kind of just slides some of her materials over, and it's like, well, if you're up here, you're gonna work. I don't know how many of these I'm gonna need, so.
Well, with our luck, Rodella just starts winding and tying and just kind of fiddles for a little bit, and then just says, how are you feeling?
I mean, fine. I slept all right, you know. Fine, I think. Not the first time I've walked into the dark, but
I wanted to thank you.
For what?
You did an absolutely incredible job of keeping your shit together while I was losing mine. And you shouldn't have been put in that position.
You're probably right, but if anyone was overdue to lose their shit every once in a while, I think you kind of got us all beat.
I appreciate everything you said and did. You're becoming very wise.
Just
You don't hear this. I did roll a 30 on perception, and it just goes to itself.
you motherfucker. I don't think Ruby hears that snort, but I think that the hairs on the back of her neck stand up for a minute, and she's just somewhere out there. My brother is laughing at me. Sibling sixth sense. I don't know. I don't think. No. You know, you wake up on your birthday and everyone's like, oh, you're a year older, and you don't necessarily feel like anything's changed, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Few wrinkles here and there.
Suddenly very like it has been looking at you this whole time and now is super fucking focused on the arrowhead in her hand. And she usually is like really like she's quick about this. She's got this down to a science and can do it with her eyes closed, but like for a little bit like kind of fumbles with it a bit and can't quite get it to stay. Yeah.
1 second, I'm gonna roll a perception check.
Yeah, please do.
Got like a 15.
I feel like that would you probably would catch it.
I think Rodella isn't quite as quick as you, but Rodella's kind of the one who taught you. So I think as Rodella finishes up a couple, she notices the little slip.
One that's a little fucked.
Yeah. And doesn't say anything, but just kind of reaches out and grabs it and like adjusts it a little bit. And then sets it down very slowly and kind of like gives you a little bit of a look.
1 minute. I'm rolling a self-control check. That's a 3. Yeah, without which is how all my weekend shopping trips start. I think without like I don't think she has any control in this moment. I think that like I think that her eyes kind of dart over back to the fucking Benjamin Button manning the helm.
Jesus Christ.
She can't really. I don't think that she can really hide it. I don't think she's ever really been able to hide anything from Rodella, but I think that especially right now, she's, you know, had a really fucked up 24 hours. I don't think that she can hide it.
Okay. I think Rodella just kind of takes stock of the whole situation and thinks about like what she just said and what you guys were talking about and is trying to relate it to why you gave Tennant such a weird look just now and fucked up an arrow, which is unheard of. And I think Ruby doesn't give a lot away, but when Ruby's like really freaked out, like she makes mistakes. And I think Rodella knows that. And so Rodella just kind of gives Tennant a little bit of a longer look.
Can I roll another perception check to also
Sure.
eavesdrop and also feel the
The
gaze
two
that-
eyes
Yeah.
like pouring into you.
Sure.
When you know that person is sitting across from you in the cafeteria, they're absolutely talking shit about you, and you can't prove it, but you fucking know.
Yeah, that's a 28. I think Tennant hears the last snippet of this conversation and then hears the pregnant pause that follows, and kind of like that blood runs cold, and they just let go of the helm, and the rudder starts, and the whole ship lurches. And I don't know what, the whole ship lurches, and they grab the boat again, and
What
it
is
rights
this,
itself.
Is this a dexterity saving throw? What is this?
I think for the two of you up at the crow's nest, yeah, go ahead and both of you give me a dexterity saving throw.
My God.
Diana, you do get Rodella's spicy paladin bonus.
I do? How much is that? Oh, fucking hell. I have D&D Beyond open. I just saw what you rolled. Oh, no.
That is a
What's
net
your-
1 with
What's your...
adding nothing.
Oh, my God. What's your paladin bonus that I get for hanging out with my mom? Is it plus...
Oh, it's
what is it? It's-
Your
Charisma modifier.
charisma modifier.
+4.
Okay, so I got a 21.
Okay. And so technically you got a 5, TT. It's still a natural one, but
Technically.
it's a 5.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, fine.
But still a natural one. I think, Ruby, you kind of just one of the most dexterous beings out there. You can feel Tennant like about to lurch the ship in one direction, and you kind of like just literally absent-mindedly, without even looking behind you, stick your arm out and grab the side of the crow's nest. Rodella, you're a little bit less prepared for this, and you can feel your entire body, like, you know, like when you're on a roller coaster and you take a really sharp turn, you just like knock into the side of the crow's nest. You just take a point of bludgeoning damage as your shoulder like bams into the side, and it's gonna leave a nasty bruise.
Jesus Christ.
It just pauses and goes, sorry, asteroid.
Are you drunk at the wheel?
No.
Eyes on the road.
You hear a clatter from downstairs.
Oh, I
Wow,
can get
sorry.
there. Nice fresh party. Christ. And I think Tennant looks up and catch it as you're still kind of recovering from the bludgeoning. I don't know if you're even... I think you could just make out like the pinpricks of light that are Tennant's eyes, and they go from this hardened stare of like the wordless sibling communication of shut the fuck up, but in the last like split second of it, it goes from like the same kind of like feeling. It goes from like a Reva stare of like this is an order to more of like a stare you recognize from your brother that is more pleading. And then he turns around.
I'm just sitting. I'm holding on like a fucking... Just
I
the
think
New York City local who actually knows how to stand on the subway.
I think Rodella kind of like her gingerly like rubs her arm and gives Tennant a very like stern look, but Tennant's already turned around by then and just wow. I should probably go be useful. Don't know how, but I should do something.
Yeah. Same feeling. There's not much to do here in the way of preparation.
I think Riddell's squinting at you.
Sorry, can I help you with something?
You tell me if there's something wrong.
The exact face that Jess just made, I think Ruby makes that face. And then kind of just like looks very hard at her arrows again, even though once again she doesn't need to look at them to be able to do this. And it just kind of puts a few of the ones that they've just made into her quiver. Yeah, I'll let you know if there's anything more, fucked than the kind of just gestures to everything. Yeah.
I think all the secrets in this family are becoming a little... I think it's best that we try and be open with each other, at least for now.
Might be something to talk about when we get home.
I think she kind of rests a hand on your hand and squeezes it and then starts climbing down. A little bit quicker going down than it was going up. Although her one arm is stinging. And I think when her boots hit the deck, she turns and gives Tennant a look.
While Rodella was climbing down, I think that Ruby like looked at Tennant and like I didn't fucking say shit.
Just gently rests his forehead on the bow.
Okay, I rolled a 16 on perception. Is there anything that Rodella would notice right now?
About the ship?
No, Tennant.
Roll insight, not perception.
Insight. Okay.
Can I roll?
And then give me a deception, Jess.
That's a nat 20.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
23.
Jess?
32.
Della doesn't notice shit. It was an asteroid.
It was an
Real
asteroid.
big one just flew past.
Really big one.
I think at this point, Rose can make
Yeah.
their way to the deck.
I think I like to imagine that when Rose left Riva, she like picked up just the cup that Riva had set out for her. And so I think the Rose that walks out of this hallway, which, you know, like very nicely dressed in winter put together, has just like a streak of liquid across of dark liquid across their dress. And I think with just a touch more fire than Rose has had this whole day because of winter, makes eye contact with you, Tennant, from across the ship and just goes,
Tennant is both abashed and slightly turned on.
good for him. And I discarded the cup. I don't know, somewhere. Probably just got mad and put it somewhere, and they'll find it in 3 days. But I'll eventually kind of cross. What the fuck happened?
Asteroid.
Uh huh. Right. Okay. Well, kind of like looks down at their dress, and do I have prestidigitation? I do. I'll like prestidigitate the T away with a little bit of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like too enunciated hand gesture of annoyance. And then I'll kind of take a breath and look at Rodella. She's okay. I spoke with Riva. I managed to, I think, ease the effects of her not sleeping. But she thinks, and also I think, because I brought it up, that the rest of us need to have a little strategy meeting before we land. And she can't necessarily be there for it because of but made it very clear that I am allowed to act on behalf of her and the family, which is a power that I feel really normal about. So but yeah, I think when we're up for it, we should have a little chat.
We've got like 2 hours, so
Do we want to do it now? I mean, if you're swerving around asteroids, I don't want to distract you from that very important.
well, it's better than crashing into them actually. So I think my
No,
reflexes are
definitely
quite
kind of like
intense.
no, definitely looks around at what I imagine is a very empty sky. No, I mean really, thank goodness you're here, because otherwise.
I'm gonna go find Ward because no one's fucking seen her in a minute.
Oh, okay, yeah,
and she should
yeah.
come
I'll
back
steer clear of the asteroids. Don't worry.
Thank you. Gives like a half a look at you and then head down and walks off.
I think Rodella watches him go and then turns to Rose. And I think you see Rodella's looking like a little bit like the second you started talking about Riva, like she tensed up. But it wasn't because you were talking about Riva, it's because you were talking about Riva in front of Tennant.
I think kind of
And-
squints at you and squints after Tennant and squints back at you.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Is everything here okay? Okay.
I didn't mean to put you in the middle of Riva and I, and thank you for doing that, but I'm sorry for getting you involved in our
I think
squabble.
Rose kind of looks at you and like there's a touch of like it's like a 50-50 mixture of like playful disbelief and just like warmth. And they look at you, Rodella, how many times have I come knocking on your door at like 4 a.m. to wail about how you've raised an insufferable hellspawn and I'm going to lose my mind? It's okay. That's family. and I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't happy to do it. It's okay. Besides, it's about time I returned the favor, really.
I think you see a series of very like complicated emotions go across Rodella's face.
Sure.
And I think the prominent one is probably guilt. And I think Rodella's eyes kind of like flashed towards Tenants retreating back. I would just like to do a little less of the putting my children in the middle of. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think pauses like they're like trying to find the words to say it's okay in a different way that will help, and then sort of come to the conclusion that there isn't a way that she can say it because it's just one of those things, and just yeah. I mean, I know I'm a little out of sorts, kind of like blows a tuft of white hair out of her eyes, but I am here to help where I can. So anytime. As long as, you know, the next time it's not like in the middle of the astral sea because there's a fucked up god inside a crown and then a different god and, you know, just all the rain. Don't make that face at me. You know. Next time if it could be like, you know, just like a normal marital dispute. I think I would really excel on that one.
I think Rodella reaches out, and the little tuft of hair that just keeps falling into your eyes, she just kind of like gently like folds it back and kind of like tucks it into the rest of your hair.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It would be really, really nice if those were the problems of the day.
I mean, you know, have to believe, right? That someday,
one day,
hopefully soon, my problems will return to, you know, tiny hands stuffing toads in pockets and bringing them in the house, and also return to just normal marital bickering and.
At the mention of tiny hands, I think Rodella's face kind of falls a little bit,
Yeah.
and she kind of like reaches over and rubs her shoulder and just looks tired.
Yeah.
I guess we can wait for everyone else to get back.
Yeah. Here, I'll and can I cast message on Ruby?
Sure.
What's the distance? I don't know how tall a
Well, I don't care.
fucking crow's nest.
Fucking
Nice.
the
Nice.
amount.
I love having gay
The right amount.
DMs. And Ruby, in your head, you just hear, "Hey, we're gonna have a little strategy meeting. So when you're done doing whatever it is that you're doing up there, if you want to come down, we'll be here, very carefully steering clear of all asteroids."
Right. You think sleep at the wheel? I don't know. And she kind of starts climbing down.
Sure. We will take this moment to follow Tennant. Tennant, you walk in the direction of the room that Ward's been given. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
23.
23.
Sorry.
There is like a little bit of like black smoke coming out from under the door, and you can hear like muffled conversation between two different voices. One of them that you recognize as Ward.
Can I eavesdrop?
Sure, yeah. You kind of put your
Stealth.
ear to the door. Yeah, make a stealth check.
It's a nat 20. Again.
Okay.
I fucking love this rose, guys!
Great. Yeah, so Ward We're almost there. And I feel ready, I think. And the other voice kind of sighs. Thank you for the sacrifice you're making for everyone. I'm gonna miss you. I know. I'll miss you too, but you can always check in on me, even if I don't remember you. And there's kind of a little chuckle. Of course I'll be watching. You know I don't let go that easily. And she kind of laughs. Of course, of course. Well, I'll say goodbye before I have to. So let's not say goodbye quite yet. Not very good at goodbyes, I don't think. Yeah. I'll see you in a few hours then. Yeah. See you in a bit. And the black shadow kind of stops, and you can see there's a little bit of light coming from, Frankie. Not coming from Frankie. There's a little bit of light coming from under the door, and then it fades, and it's silent.
Can I make some kind of like flat intelligence check? I know what that was. I don't know what it does.
Sure, yeah. Make an intelligence check.
Buddy. 8.
Nope.
I think rather than knock, Tennant just like kicks the bottom of the door.
Hi?
It's a very sibling move. Like, you don't knock on your siblings' doors, you just kick on their doors, you know?
Hello?
You burning something in there?
Yeah, Bridges. Come on in.
I open the door and I kind of like lean in the doorway with like the fuck are you up to? But like not in a intimidating way necessarily, more of a
Yeah, Ward is
Yeah.
kind of
Fuck are
sitting
you?
cross-legged on the bed. Has like a wooden plank in front of them. And on it there's a little bit of incense. There's like a pine frond. And like a bowl of water.
Okay.
Hi?
Hi. Family meeting, so
And I am... You want me... I'm going to that?
I'm not standing here for fun, am I?
Okay, well, give me a second to just kind of clean
What
up.
are you doing?
Chatting with a friend.
Sorry, I didn't realize you had friends.
Not very many, but at least one.
Okay. Can I make another intelligence check?
Sure, you can
Put
do it
the
with
fucking
advantage
puzzle
this
piece in.
time.
How can he
Okay,
be so
there we
smart
go,
and
there
yet
we
so
go.
dumb?
It's a slutty 20.
Sure, yeah, you can kind of put the pieces together. She was talking to Zirian.
Okay. I think like it starts a sentence several times over and then just like really like almost physically bites their tongue and is just looking really frustrated with their inability to like get these words out and just kind of glowers.
She looks at you. Say it.
We're having a family meeting to discuss strategy. And if your part in this is to play some sort of noble sacrifice, I feel like the others have a right to know.
She kind of shuffles awkwardly and starts very gingerly picks up the bowl of water and puts it on the bedside table as to not spill it. You do see there's a little like splash of water on the bed that looks wet probably from when you swerved the ship. And she starts cleaning up after herself. Fine, but you can't let them stop me.
I can't let them stop you.
Yeah.
You want me to stop them from stopping you?
Yes, that's what I said. Is it not?
No. Yeah, I can't actually stop them from doing anything. It's kind of a running theme in this family. It's kind of why we're here.
Well,
Come on, Ward. Just turns around. It's stomps down the hallway.
okay. We'll like put stuff away and follow. Yeah, the two of you can make your way
rejoin
back
the
to the
group.
deck.
In this little interlude while we're waiting for Tennant to come back, can I have tried to ritual cast detect magic just as a precaution to make sure nobody's looking at us? What? Hey, tell me about that. Anyone looking at us?
Oh, my dog keeps making sounds. Frankie!
Terrifying thing to do in response to that question.
He has thought he wants to come to the meeting.
Frankie,
Give
you're
him a
You're a
microphone.
Crowcolts. You are. That's
So
your
true.
full name, Frankie Crowcolt. That's you. I don't think you get anything out
Cool.
of the ordinary.
Cool.
Also, I would like to say that Tennant probably just knock on the dead's door. I don't know when the dead's doing.
Sure. Yeah, you can pull Nadette over. We're not bringing Ruby Senior into this.
No.
Great.
I think as Rose is wrapping up ritual casting, you probably hear a knock at your door, assuming that you're casting this in your room.
She's on the deck.
On the
I
deck.
am on the
Oh,
deck.
okay.
Yeah.
Then I think what you hear then is the click, click, click of Riva's boots.
Mm-hmm.
She comes up on deck and looks for you, Rose.
Yeah.
And you see there's like one of her bangs is just like plastered to her face. Like it's been splashed with tea and it's like stuck. And you see a package like in her hand and you see that the paper is like a little bit wet. She looks over to you and goes, just in case I had this made before this trip began. And I pass over you to this package, and it's the forgery of the crown, the duplicate.
I think Rose kind of like lifts the lid of the box and peeks in and sees it and like shuts it. Doesn't like open it fully, but like shuts it very quickly and gives you a nod. Right? That is good to know. Thank you.
It's always good to have a backup. Give me a moment. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
get tidied up.
Yeah. Sure. We'll be here if you need anything.
And I think I click off, grumbling the entire time. Like, what fucking idiot taught him to drive? To sail. Me, I'm the fucking idiot.
Tennant ducks into a doorway as they hear this grumbling about his driving and hides until you pass.
What are you doing?
Shut up! Just slams his hand over Ward's mouth and just like hides in an archway.
I think Ward has to like physically bite back the urge to like lick your hand to get it off of her mouth.
Okay, then we rejoin the others.
Sure.
I think as you guys rejoin, Rose will kind of like give Ward a warm but very awkward nod because Rose has said exactly one sentence to Ward and it was rude. Just like a little nod. And then we'll look at Tennant and like a little bit of the tension eases away and very much as like a self-soothing reflex we'll go, don't worry, no asteroids.
Oh, is
made
that
sure-
what that was?
Just wipes
Oh,
a
yeah,
bum on his
huge
shirt. Okay.
Right. Hi. Hi, everyone. Ooh, wow. I don't know why I just got nervous. Okay. So should be there fairly soon, and I think that I don't know. Kind of looks at Mort again. How much you know, and how much I know. That I'm gonna start this over. I very much not looking at Rodella was in contact with Ithios for a little while. Not any longer. But while I was, he gave me some information about what it is exactly that it wants. And one of those things is there's this prophecy that Ithios wants Riva and at one point wanted me to fulfill. And I think we need to talk because if we walk onto that planet right now as is, we will be starting it. It requires the crown to return to Merc Hollow on the head of a mother. And I believe Ithios' people will be waiting for us in that specific hope. So, kind of like I think looks at Ward in this moment to see if any of this feels like news to Ward.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, both of you make me an insight check.
Okay.
Terrible.
Mine's also kind of not good. It's 17.
7.
Oh, wait.
Okay. Hard to get a read on Ward. Tennant just kind of stone-faced, but like nodding along to the conversation.
I got
Rose,
a
you
nat
get
20.
this. Pardon?
So you know. I got a nat 20. Just
Oh, I didn't realize you were also rolling. Rose, I think that you can kind of get a sense of Ward knew some of this. They don't seem entirely shocked to hear this, but you don't get the sense of like this was information that she was withholding, right?
Sure.
Just like she knew that there was some sort of prophecy, and that kind of where it ends. Rodella, Ward looks nervous, and you get the sense that it's not because of anything that Rose has said. Ward's kind of looked nervous since she walked up with Tennant. Yeah, just looks a little bit afraid. And you haven't really seen Ward scared at all.
Okay.
I think because Tennant rolled so low on the insight, he just straight out says, "Did you know about this?"
Somewhat. Not entirely.
Right. So I'm assuming, I guess not obviously, that we don't want to work with Ithios, but given the circumstances, have to be very careful. Riva said it's been quiet, which in my experience is unusual. I don't know if that's usual for them, but yeah.
I don't know how much you all know about Merc Hollow. We probably
Trying
won't
to go
run
to the
in-
library when Emil showed up, so
we probably won't run into Theos' followers immediately. Most of them are underground.
underground, right?
Like, literally, not metaphorically.
No,
like,
I
literally
figured.
under the ground.
Yeah, that's fine. Love being underground.
Have you ever been to Mercolo before? Yeah, roll for it.
No. I got it.
Wonderful, flying blind.
Do you know much about it other than his followers are underground?
Well, most of civilization is underground.
Right, but do we know anything past its underground? Which is not a criticism, just a genuine question.
Not really.
I can, if we want, take some time and try and get information. It will use a bit of high level magic. I will still have some higher than that available, but it will take me a minute. But I think this is important, so I'm willing to, if we would rather go in with a bit more information than they're underground.
Wow.
Be nice, but I think maybe we're putting the cart before the horse a bit. I would like for us to clarify our objectives going in.
Destroy the crown.
Yes, obviously, but how first we got to get it off her, and then I personally have no idea how we do that. So
Look at Ward.
Ward is looking at her feet.
so unless one of you has, I don't know, a secret vial of crown destroying acid that you've kept tucked away.
Well, I don't have that, but I can. Again, I imagine it will take some luck and some very high level magic. I can try to dispel. Yeah, I can try to dispel the magic that specifically is holding on to
Right.
Riva.
If you can get it off, I can destroy it.
Also, if we want to be a bit more covert, and I think here Rose will kind of like turn the box that Riva gave around and lift the lid. I can walk in wearing this if we want to play pretend. I don't know that any of his followers will know the difference. I might be able to make it give off magic, even if it's not the same.
It's a big risk if they see right through it, though.
Yeah.
A bit of a big risk if they see right through it. So what's one more?
And I mean, if it gets us even 5 minutes further into their territory without a fight, is that 5 minutes we can afford to not try and take by doing this? I mean, I'm a very good liar, so
Or do we put a
Maybe.
bag over Mum's head? Like, kind of realizes that comes out really sarcastic, looks at Rose apologetically, is like, "That it's your plan's fine. I'm just."
well, I mean, ideally this would be if we can get the crown off of her head.
And even if we can't, she's got a big hat. So
And a crown that makes her face bleed if she puts it on. So
I have a feeling as soon as that, if we can get the crown off of her head, we have a very small amount of time to get rid of it. Looks at Ward again. Does this thing need to be destroyed in a certain place?
Yeah. In the waters it was forged in.
Which is conveniently located just on the shoreline.
Underground in the civilization.
Right. Cool.
It's,
Okay.
I believe it's called like the Lake or something.
Right. The only thing is, if we leave it on, Riva, and we walk in there, if Ithios' followers see her, they're going to believe stronger in the prophecy and in Ithios, and that's going to make Ithios stronger. His power comes from being believed in. And if we walk in there, and all of those potentially hundreds of people think that this is the day and it's all happening and water will flow and treasure will whatever, they're going to believe in him more, and I imagine it will be much harder to get it off of her head and much harder to do what we need to do.
But surely the same belief applies if they see you, even with a fake crown.
True. So maybe we take it off and I don't put it on, and we just have it case we need to wedge something around.
Maybe we need to just try and get to this bloody lake unseen by any followers.
Ideally.
Yeah.
But that is a good backup.
I don't know if it helps at all. I can also make one of us not able to be looked in on by scrying or divination magic in general for, I think, 8 hours. I'll double check right now. I don't know if that's anything they're using, but yeah. Yeah, 8 hours.
Ward. Does it simply require dropping it in the lake?
Look at her again.
It's
Seems a little easy.
It's a little bit more than that, but I'll handle it.
A little bit more than just I'll handle it. Not that I don't trust you, but, well, I don't trust you, so.
It just requires an exchange of power. Takes about a minute.
An exchange of power?
Yeah. I give up my power, and it's destroyed.
Oh.
When you say give up your power, or magic?
Fingers kind of crackle a little bit with eldritch energy. Yeah.
Forever?
Yes. It's
And this
why
is
it
a sacrifice that you're comfortable making. We're not going to get there and then you're going to be like, oops, actually, I quite like being able to cast magic. Kind of.
It's why it had to be me. It had nothing to do with our connection. I'm tired. I'm ready to be done with this.
Good enough for now?
Can Rodella do an insight check?
Sure. What are you trying to figure out?
What they mean when they say done with this.
Sure.
Because that doesn't sound like magic. 13.
We also got a 13. You would kind of figure something about the deal they've made for their power, the you know, they've talked about having like things to do for Zirian. Probably that.
Okay. If you are committed to this course,
Yeah. And I'll be fine. Just normal.
Wonderful.
Eyes
Sorry.
very quickly dart over to Tennant, just to like make sure that they've given enough information that Tennant is happy.
I mean, I think they're kind of unreadable. They're just looking at Ward.
Cool. Or like.
Okay.
Sorry, Ruby, you were saying?
I was just going to ask if we think there's any benefit to maybe one or more of us staying out of sight if we do encounter Ithios's followers. Could do what I do best and probably try to keep Ward hidden as well if we kind of need you to finish this whole thing.
Yeah. Rose, if there's any way for you to locate the lake so that we at least know where we're going and what we're facing.
Yeah, give me 4 seconds to look up this spell so I can tell you if I can. I think I can. My god, there's so much text. Reed, do you know scrying? It can be a location, right?
Mhm.
Did I make that up? Okay. I can. I will say while I technically could do that and also get us more information, it would put me pretty low on magic, so I might.
You have to have seen the location before.
Beans. Okay, beep beep beep. I didn't say any of that. I normally I could have. I just haven't seen the location, so I don't think I can. If there's like, if we knew that somebody was going to be in that area, that yeah.
You had a vision, didn't you, of the thing being made?
Oh, I did. Was it that lake? Oh my god, Jess, your mind is fucking ginormous. Holy shit.
Genius.
It was in fact that lake, yes.
Beep beep beep. I actually said the first thing that I said. So I could technically do
Jess,
both.
take a point of inspiration.
God, thank God you're here, Jess. Holy shit. It
The
would
fact
put
I
me...
said it in Tennant's voice as well, and everyone went, Jess, you're a genius! And I'm like...
That's
yeah.
my husband! It would put me a bit low on my higher level magic, but I more powerful magic, but I can do both, or if we want, we can pick one.
Yeah, this... It's a little bit risky. But when we get there, I mean...
We could just ask
Nadette's not the only one who can look... Nadette's not the only one who can look like other people, and Ward can make it so that I can speak to them, and I'll just ask for directions.
Okay, so do we want me to look in on the lake then? Make sure there isn't an army waiting there?
No, I mean, like, ask for directions first so you don't have to use the magic. And maybe get a feel for, you know...
Sure.
How many people are traveling there.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. So we can keep that in our pocket then.
Wait, kind of looks at Ruby for probably the first time in this conversation. You can look like a fish person.
I mean, let me double check this. I should be able to. I know how disguise self works. I mean, I've never tried it, but yeah, in theory.
Okay.
I think worst case I could probably also make a second person. I don't know. Right, you could do that with polymorph. Right?
Sure, yeah.
In theory?
Listen, you save your magic for bigger, more important things. I just use it on little tricks, so.
Sure.
All right. Well, it's the clearest plan forward we've had this entire time, so.
So I guess really the main question is, what are we doing about the crown on Reba's head? Now, later?
If we do it now, we're going to meet an army when we land.
If we don't do it now, we might meet an army anyway. And then that army will be inspired.
I just don't know. Looks at Rose. Ithios did not leave his conversation with you very chuffed. And if we take that crown off Reba's head, we don't know what he might do.
Sure.
And we might not have enough time to get to where we need to be to destroy it.
Yeah. I think because he was upset and because I don't know the level to which he is listening in on Riva's moves and thoughts, it is not inconceivable that he has contacted his followers and there will be 1,000 people there waiting for us and it won't go our way. I think it's a gamble either way. But
Can we hide her? Can we make her invisible? Can we, if we're met by a bunch of people, tell them that until we're where we need to be, their prophet will not reveal herself to them?
sure. The only thing I can help with that is I can make her look like someone or something else, or an animal, or that's about it. And that is only for an hour. Yeah.
I think Rodella keeps glancing over to the door where they know Riva's behind. And just desperately looks like she wishes Riva were there.
I mean, she's
So it sounds
fucking
like we've
sneakier
got-
than I am. Like, me and Mom can just stick to the shadows. You could be a fish, and you two can, I don't know.
So I think that what we're debating here right now is, do we want to try to take it off her now in a controlled environment, possibly triggering something that then we have to face when we get down there, or would we rather wait it out, but then we'll have to remove it in an environment that we can't control or predict?
And potentially, if we are seen, with a much stronger Ithios.
And even if you try to sneak invisible, that crown, if it doesn't like it, Riva's not going anywhere.
Rose, how confident are you in your ability to get it off her? If the answer's not very, that's fine, but...
I mean, I have a chronic case of... Sorry, I was gonna say... Hi, James is gonna phrase it differently than she would phrase it. Of being a bit overconfident in myself, but also trying to be a god, so really, in my head, it's about 50-50. I can try. I think looks at Ward here is that I don't know how the gods work. Is there anything that your patron can do to assist us in this?
I'm here and have the power that I do. That's kind of what I've got.
Anything that could help with this particular issue?
Yeah, did you take that Eldritch Invocation that's like removing cursed grounds with the gods inside of them from
one
your
specifically.
mother-in-law's head? You took that one, right?
That one
Or from your
specifically.
sister's head?
That cantrip, that
Yeah,
we all know
yeah.
exists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can also try and get it off of her head.
Okay.
I've got the same magic, I'm assuming you have.
Maybe if we both do it at the same time, it will... Okay, so maybe like 65%? That's more than half. Something
Wonderful.
like
Then in that case, I would kind of prefer controlled environment, just because... I mean, God, what if we get it down there and we get to that fucking lake and it's stuck? Which would be the stupidest problem to run into, but it's a possible one.
If this doesn't work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be very angry.
Yeah.
Tanner,
sit in a circle.
make me a survival check.
Uh-oh.
Hated that.
Bad,
Anytime in this campaign you say
Fuck this.
tenant out of nowhere, I want to leave.
The fear.
Uh-huh.
Don't say his
that's-
name. Get a job.
19.
You're about 20 minutes away from Mercalo.
Okay. That's it.
That's what I assumed it would be. Chill out, guys.
Thought we were looking out.
I thought we were going to get
Fine,
attacked
I'll
by fish
just
people that are
never
going to tip
give
the
you
boat.
Information again, okay?
Tenant in brackets. This is not a threat. Just
Okay, I'll start putting tone indicators on my tenants.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything to help.
look. We don't have a lot of time here.
Someone put in the chat, asteroid.
While we're on the subject of doing what could very realistically become a chaotic and loud thing, are we not telling Ruby Senior? Any kind of looks more at Tenant for this?
Someone has to watch the boat.
Right. Looks to the rest of the group. Okay.
I
Should
give
we-
everyone else a very challenging stare of like, right?
Or just nods.
Ruby meets that challenge, but is just like, yeah, something's fucked with her.
Okay.
Do
Should
you
we
say that
maybe
out loud?
Yeah!
What?
We don't have time to unpack it all. It's just like, I don't know, she's weird.
Okay. Because we're all perfectly normal.
Yeah, I am. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
stop squabbling.
Picture
Let's-
of Nancy. Yeah.
Okay. Should we tell her what we're about to do, or just sort of let her be surprised if it all goes to shit?
I feel like if we tell her, then that thing's gonna know. So,
If we tell Ruby Senior, you think Ruby Senior is connected to the crown?
oh no, I meant, sorry, I'm talking about, I was talking about Reva, if we were gonna tell her.
Oh, we're
Reva
not
what
telling
we were
Reva
gonna.
shit.
Right, yeah, okay, fantastic, good. So we're gonna jump up, and that's fine.
I would prefer not to tell Reva anything.
But Reva would also prefer that.
Fantastic. When it comes to Davies, though, fuck.
Should I get Reva?
So true.
Should I get Reva?
Sure.
I just think, if we try this now and it doesn't work, what? Our head explodes, what? We turn around and go home?
Well, we have to remember, Ithios needs that crown to stay on a mother's head. And that mother can't be one of his followers. And he knows I've said no. So, like it or not, for at least another 30 minutes, it needs Reva. I mean, unless one of you has something to tell me, it needs Reva.
I think
Maybe
Ruby
that's
kind of like
something-
glances at Rodella and is like, I mean, I know you're not mad, Mom, but like, I don't know, that thing might try something else.
There's at least 2 other female identifying-ish mothers on this ship.
Ward, like, starts doing the math.
I mean 3, but like, yeah, I kind of like stares at Ward for a minute. It's like, fuck, I need to phone Vash.
What?
Never mind. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Are we worried about Ruby Senior taking up an opportunity like that?
think I'm just in general worried
Right.
about Ruby Davies.
Right.
What I'm saying is, River is not his only option. And he's already shown he will quite happily teach her a lesson. And there are some things that are worse than death.
It didn't really seem like it had all that much power before she put it on. Maybe once we've got it off, stick it back in a box, nobody touches it till we throw it in the lake. I mean, I'm sure he can still fuck with us in other ways, but...
Well, we've opened the can of worms already. If what Rose says is true, it gains power, people believing in it. I don't know if there's the option to shove it back in a box.
The only other thing I could think of is taking the fake crown and walking into a crowd of his followers and breaking it in half. I think that would... yeah. Either way, though, I think we're running out of time, so we need to decide.
I vote now.
I think Rose kind of looks to Tennant and takes his hand and squeezes it in almost an apology, and then get you, Ruby. I agree.
Word's not gonna vote until Tennant and Rodella do, because I don't want to decide.
I don't know. If we walk in there with that crown still on Riva's head, either way, if Riva doesn't do exactly what it says, it'll be the same result.
So your vote?
No.
I know it's fucking insane after everything. Stop eating the brownie. I just believe in Mum more than I do this thing. But it's fine.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, fuck you. That's okay. It's a 24.
I think what you see in this moment, having known Tennant for so long, is a little bit of that last ditch, like childlike hope, and that feeling that a part of Tennant still sees his mum as invincible.
Yeah.
And I think the idea of her not being invincible and them having to make the hard choice puts too much of a fracture in his perception of Riva.
I think Rose sees this and kind of, and I mean, besides, Riva is strong-willed, to put it kindly, and I think resistance pushing out from the inside while we do this will probably help. So maybe it will be easy.
So now.
Okay.
Get it if you want to make preparations. Anything you need to do.
I think Tana's gonna just kind of stand up wordlessly and walk over to the helm of the ship and just start slowing down the ship so they have more time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Ruby, you can head off to
And we'll
go
probably
find-
actually just bring it to a stop so that they're just adrift about 15
Sure.
minutes outside.
Ruby, you can head off to go find your mom. We're gonna beep, 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 back up a little bit and see what Riva's been doing.
So, after storming off and grumbling, being a terrible sailing teacher, I think I go back to the galley, grab a towel, and start to clean up my face. And then I think for a moment and go try to find my mother, Ruby Sr.
Sure. You know the room that's been given to Ruby Sr.?
I approach, and then I knock.
You don't get an answer.
I knock again, a little bit more firmly.
Second. Another second. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hi. Come in.
I crack open the door, and immediately I wanna look. You know what? Yeah, no. I just want to check. Like, did she just wake up?
Just in bed. Kind of
Okay.
propped up on her elbow. Under the covers. Hair a little bit messy. Eyes squinting at you. Hi. Are we there? What's up?
I can't believe you slept through that. Never mind. I
Slept
wanted to.
through what?
You didn't feel the jolt of the ship? No.
Come on. You grow up on ships, spend your whole life on ships, you can sleep through fucking anything.
I think to that, I chuckle a little bit. Can I talk to you about something?
Yeah. She kind of sits up in bed a little bit and like pats the space next to her.
And I think unconsciously, like how Nadette would curl up with her moms, I think Riva sort of like takes a spot. You know, thing that feels worse than anything else in the world is the moment I looked at my kids and saw that they were disappointed. Because when they were so little, the way they look up, they expect you to know everything. I used to look at you this way.
I know. It was addicting.
I lost faith in you when you disappeared. And to be honest with you, I really I think you see flashes of this conflict and sort of, I think, loss or like, there's a tragedy that's going off and playing across, I think, Riva's face. Yeah, I thought I'd gotten past it. But at a certain end, I still feel like I failed them.
It never really goes away, unfortunately. There's always that tugging feeling in the back of your mind that someone else... Franklin!
Franklin is also sad.
There's always that tugging feeling in the back of your mind that someone else would have raised them better. That someone else would have protected them or given them better values or taught them life's lessons in a way that you couldn't. Never really goes away, unfortunately.
How do you deal with that? Knowing that you've disappointed the people that matter to you.
Try your best to not do it again. And know that you might. And trust that they'll love you anyway.
Trust is a funny thing. It's a hard thing to come by.
Especially in our field.
Especially in our field. Can I do a little perception check or an insight or a little... I feel like aeons ago there was a description of a piece of jewelry that was missing rubies and about Ruby Senior's person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a necklace.
Could I do a perception or investigation to see if it's there, here, on her?
Yeah, you don't have to roll.
Okay.
She is not wearing it, but you can see on like the bedside table there is like the jewelry that she normally adorns herself with, because like everyone in this family, she needs a million accessories or else she's not complete. And yeah, there's a necklace that appears to have like the outline of a pendant missing.
I think clocking it. I think I look over to Ruby and ask, can you tell me why our family are... what is the significance of the ruby to our family?
In general?
Well, I want to know. The rubies on the crown. The rubies you were trapped in.
Part of me thinks it's some attempt at a joke.
There's no family significance. It's just a cruel joke.
It was the name I picked for myself when I wanted to become something new.
You weren't always named Ruby?
No.
I don't think I've heard this story.
It's not one I tell many people, especially not my 6-year-old daughter.
Can I hold her hand and ask, does it have anything to do with those missing rubies?
What do you mean?
There, your necklace.
Kind of looks over. I don't think so.
And I think there's a flash of disappointment and a loss of faith in Reva. But she hides it.
Does she? Roll a deception check.
And I just rolled. But we'll see if this beats you. It's a 26.
With a 31,
Oh shit.
there is that flash across Ruby Sr.'s face. And the only reason you recognize it is because it was something you just talked about 3 minutes ago. That flash that you've worn this emotion on your own face so many times. It's the feeling of letting someone down. The feeling of someone being disappointed in you. But she doesn't offer up anything else.
Would you tell me? Please, I'm asking. To make up for all of the years that have passed, or I've had to do this alone without you. Such a simple question. What was your name?
Make a persuasion check.
Does holding her hand help at all?
No.
Okay. That's fishing for it. Oh, please, God, dice. I don't know it. Transdice to the ground, leave is so goodness gracious. Oh, it's only a 14.
Can I get Brie one of my inspirations?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, I'm like double checking my traits to be like, wait, don't I have 2 things? Let's see. Oh goodness. Oh, I've got reliable talent. I'm a rogue. That's how D&D works. That's a nat 20. I shit you not.
Yeah!
She looks at you. And there's a little bit of heartbreak in this look. Because that was a little bit of manipulation.
Oh yeah, so much. Sorry, I'm freaking out. I'm uncomfortable. Continue, please.
And she knows it. You're not fooling her. And she looks at you. Lila. She squeezes your hand and moves to start putting jewelry back on and getting out of bed.
I'll go make us a pot of tea. Join me in the galley.
Sure.
Sorry, I give her hand a squeeze, and I get up. And there is no warmth in Reva's eyes as I walk out. It's just disappointment and loss of faith.
And that is where we're going to take our break. Don't change that Twitch channel. We'll be right back in like 10-ish minutes for the next half of the episode. See you in a bit! Hello, welcome back. I hope that you were able to get a drink, get a snack, go to the bathroom, take some deep breaths, whatever you needed to do to feel better. We're gonna pick up right where we left off. Ruby walking down the hallway to find Reva. Reva walking down the hallway seeing Ruby.
I think Ruby was kind of like was prepared to like look around a lot for Reva, but then kind of like turns a corner and she's right there, and kind of there's a moment of like, oh, okay. Hey, are you busy at the moment?
Not at all. What's the matter?
Nothing. We just gonna pull you for a chat.
Okay. And I think I go with.
I think Ruby kind of taking her time, and I think allowing her the sound of like her boots on the hardwood to actually like make a noise for the first time in a while, to try to like give the others a little bit of like, we're coming, like warning. And we'll kind of start to just walk her back towards where were we on the deck? Is that where we had our meeting? Did we have our meeting just out on the deck? Okay, great. Heading out towards the deck, kind of like nervously glancing back at Reva every couple of seconds to see if she's like still following me. And then this might be a bad idea, but I don't think the crowd knows crows can't. So we're gonna gamble just a little bit. I think like she takes one last look back at Reva right before they kind of like exit the ship and come back out onto the deck. And like almost like chokes on the words for a second, like has a face of like, I know I shouldn't do this, but like I can't not do this right now. And in Crows Can't just says brace. And we'll lead her out onto the deck.
All right. I think there's a little bit of a puzzling eyebrow, and then a snap back into attention, and the mask is back on. Click, click, click. Up the duck.
Can I have like, when I heard their footsteps before they made it out on the deck, just gone up to Tennant and sort of reached up on my toes and given him a little kiss and just said, it's gonna be okay.
Tennant's not quite looking at you and is just kind of anchoring the ship. And he's like, yeah,
And I think we'll just reach in and press another kiss to his cheek and squeeze his shoulder. And then I will walk up to Ward and say, okay, you ready for this? Okay. You take one hole and I'll take the other?
Sure.
Okay. Just kind of looks at Ward, and I think like 5 different emotions pass on their face until just like that practiced mask of, okay, all right. It kind of comes back on her face. I imagine like right as they walk out. Go, Riva, hi. Sorry to bother you. We were just wondering if you could take a look at some headings real quick.
Of course, happy to.
And I will sort of just like motion Riva closer towards the helm so that I can try and do it without maybe the crown noticing. I'm happy to make some kind of deception or something check. I'm trying to fool the crown. I'm not trying to fool Riva.
No.
If that's worth anything.
You can get Riva closer to the ship's helm.
As Riva goes to sort of walk, like I imagine like I'm standing a few feet away from Ward so that Riva can walk between us.
Mm-hmm.
As she does, I just look at Ward and I nod and I reach up and I grab one of her horns and I would like to cast. I know you can target a magic effect.
Mm-hmm.
I am trying to target any effect that would have the crown like able to magically hold on to Riva. I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic and hey Reed, listen, can we negotiate real quick? Can I do a little negotiating time with my best friend to DM?
Sure.
Okay. So I would like to cast this at 7th level and use that slot. My question is there anything I can give you? I'm willing to take a level of exhaustion. I'm willing to give up hit points. I'm willing to give up another spell slot. Is there anything I can give you to upcast that to 9? And still mark off that 7th level slot? And can I get it up to 8? I cannot overstate how much I am willing to give up right now.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I with all the love of my heart, I don't think you can cast magic above the level that you're able to cast.
Even channeling like literal physical health into this.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Then I will cast it at 7th level, and if I need to roll, I will roll.
Ward grabs the other horn, and
I
will
think
cast
as the two of them,
and will cast Remove Curse at 5th level.
I think as the two of them are doing this, Rodella steps up in front of Riva and just reaches out and holds her face.
I think Ruby has like kind of circled back and steps behind and just has a hand on her back.
Riva. You feel a hand on each horn. You feel a hand on your back. You feel 2 hands on your face, and your vision goes black. You hear kind of a low laughter. Huh. Interesting. They think they're so clever, don't they? Hi, Riva. It's been a while.
Sorry, who is this?
Well, they're trying to get me off you. That's what they're trying to do right now. And I, frankly, I think that's a stupid decision. And here's why. You know what I'm capable of. You know the power I hold. You know the power that I stand to hold. Name your price, Riva. You want power? You want immortality? You want magic? Name it.
So let me get this straight. When I'm in need of something from you, and if I'm asking for a change of terms or an addition to our business clause, contracts, whatsoever, I hear nothing. And here I'm being mutinied by my own family. And you come to me offering new terms?
I was busy.
Busy.
Yeah.
Something so important that it kept you, an aspiring god.
I'm not aspiring. I am one. Name your price or suffer the consequence.
Do I sense anything
You
at all
sense
besides this
no.
darkness? Okay.
You sense the feeling of the crown like breaking loose off of your head. And it is holding on for dear fucking life.
Do I feel my horns?
Being held, yeah?
Okay. I don't know. I think I want to take a moment, think.
Sure, leave your family waiting. I've got all day.
Do you know?
Do you not recognize sarcasm anymore, River Crowcolt?
Oh, I just wanted to be clear. There's no room for sarcasm, this, miscommunication and all. It can have serious consequences.
Mm-hmm.
I have no guarantee that anything that we discuss here, anything that we agree on here, would be executed.
I'll give it to you now. Name your price.
Do I feel anything loosening at this moment?
It's stuck in this kind of stasis.
Okay, it's in the stasis.
Right, like, as you and this crown are having this conversation, someone walked by the window. Frankie!
Evil monster.
Time is not passing elsewhere. We are in our own kind of stasis right now.
I think there's this pull of everything that made Riva the businesswoman that she is. There's the pull of power, there's the pull of notoriety, the desire for vengeance. It's the sorrow and sadness of her failures, it's everything. And then I think there's a moment where she thinks about the look on Tennant's face, the look on Adette's face, the look of Ruby's face, each individual moment or memory of the first time that Riva disappointed them when they were kids. Those looks of disappointment. And it's the imagined look of Rose's face of disappointment. And then it's the imagined look of Rodella's face. And I think Riva lingers on that last image of Rodella holding her face. And then I think she thinks about that dream of Riva holding herself and sobbing. There's absolutely nothing that you can give me I don't already have.
You are many things, Reaver Crowcolt, but I did not think you would be a fool. And your vision comes to again. Rose and Ward with these two hands on your horns. The both of you can feel the crown loosen, and you can yank it off. What you see are scabs on Riva's head, where some of that bleeding hardened. Small little cracks in Riva's horns around the base. Riva, you take 40 points of damage, and your hit point maximum is reduced by 40.
The second there's any, the second this crowd comes off Riva's head, Rodella pumps, everything she has, all the lay on hands she has.
So because the hit point maximum is also reduced, those cannot be healed.
Well, Rodella's gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this wouldn't... No, sorry.
Riva, you feel this warmth and radiance rush into your body, but it doesn't feel like it normally does.
I think I lean into it. I lean into my wife's hands.
Just to clarify so quick, this wouldn't count as a spell in any way in a level at which I could counterspell it, right? Just to do my due diligence. Okay.
I think the second that crown leaves your head, Rodella just kind of slumps forward as this magic kind of courses out of her hands, and her head just rests against your forehead, and she takes the first giant breath since you put this thing on, and just holds you, and I think she starts to cry. I think just kind of silently, just tears. She doesn't even register that it's happening.
I think in a mirror, I take my hands, I put them to your face, and brush away your tears as you're crying.
Riva, you can feel yourself physically getting weaker. You lose 2 points from your strength score, which is now 6.
making me find all these buttons on my D&D Beyond account, being like, how do I override this? Oh god.
You can right-click on
Um,
the ability and put in a new score.
Thank you.
Could
Yeah, I
I?
got you.
Would cleansing touch do anything?
Read me the ability.
It says you can use your action to end one spell on yourself or one willing creature.
Not a spell.
I think Tennant has been kind of stood to the side of this group, or with like at least one hand on his mother, and his hand is on the helm of the ship. And I think he watches these events unfold and doesn't take his eyes off Weaver. Can I make like an insight check to see if I realize like what's happening to her?
Sure. Make a perception check.
Okay. Loads. Like 30.
Yeah. Your mom is not a like beefy woman. That's your other mom. But you can see there's like a little bit of shake in her hands and her arms. A little bit less meat on the bones. Dark, dark circles under her eyes that were not there 5 minutes ago. She doesn't look good.
I think he watches this happen, but hones in on the fact that she's still half standing, she's still alive, and after a beat, walks over to Rose and Ward, and not in a demanding way, in like with a very like starkly gentle face, looks at you, Rose, and holds out his hand for the crown.
Ward has it.
Ward has it. I thought they were
And
both holding it.
They are. Ward like wants it and is very protectively looking at you.
Did Ward take it out of my... Because I know we both had a hand on it.
She hasn't snatched it yet.
Okay, so we're
But
both
sh-
holding it.
Yeah, but she's not letting go.
Can
I think Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, can I make it, like, do I get a vibe on, like, what... I don't know how to ask what I'm... Like, does Tennant look like he wants to do something to the crown? Like, can I get a vibe on what the intention is with it before I...
I think
at
he
all?
looks at the two of you and is like, I'm not a mother. Let me hold it until it's needed. And kind of just very, like, not challengingly, very gently. Like, I don't think Ward's seen this expression on his face. Just offers a hand and is like, I will give it to you when you need it.
It's persuasive. It can convince people of anything. Just let me hold it, please.
Ward.
I trust him. When I was tempted, they are the reason I said no. I trust them. It's not a matter of not trusting you. I promise.
Please.
Say the word and you can have it back. I'm just gonna hold it. on our
The
track.
word.
Not right now. We need to get closer.
Then when?
When it's ready.
No.
When you're ready.
No. This is my life's mission.
Is there any reason that the both of you can't look after it? We're what, 30 minutes away? We'll be traveling as a group? And I think to sort of like show my faith in the both of them, I let go.
Ward,
Yeah, and be on the ground.
because
so
you're
I-
letting go. Ward takes it and puts it in her bag.
Tennant drops his hand and just kind of like, I don't think like his expression is very readable at this point. But yeah, I think he kind of like squints at her a little bit and says, "You've shown an awful lot of trust in you so far, Ward."
She doesn't say anything. She
We are
zips the
trusting
top
you
of
to
the
destroy
bag.
this. You need to trust us to get you there.
I do.
Respectfully and with no malice. Prove it.
I'm on this ship. I have traveled with you the past week. I have not asked for anything. I have not been difficult. When I've fucked up, I've owned it, and I've...
This isn't a trial, Ward. You don't have to apologize. We're not asking you to.
Not,
My
I
point
already
is,
have.
I didn't ask you to. My point is, if all of us aren't trusting each other equally here, we're fucked. If we are hiding things from each other,
I'm not hiding anything.
you literally just put the crown in a place where we can't see it.
It's in a bag. What, do you want me to put it on my head so you can see it?
Should we be worried about that?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
I think Tennant
Neither is
kind of
he.
puts a hand on Rose's arm and is like, "It's okay." And then looks back at Ward and is like, "I wasn't asking for it because I don't trust you. Whether you remember or not, you are a member of this family. And if there's one thing we've learned in the last few days is that we kind of need to share the load. But you keep it. If that makes you feel better."
Thank you.
And yeah, turns away from her with a little bit more coldness than before. And kind of checks in with
She like
Rodella.
finally takes a breath.
I think
I
Rose.
think Ruby.
I was just gonna say, I think Rose continues to look at Ward with something that isn't like suspicion or anger, but is not kind. And just levels it at her in a very like, okay, kind of way. And I don't break her gaze until she does.
I think as this like stare down is happening, Ruby kind of like moves in with just her like just shoulder next to Rose and leans in a little bit in Crow's can. It's like, I'm not gonna fucking take my eyes off her till it's done. So
Still looking at Ward. I reply in Crow's Cat. Good. Good. Truthfully, neither am I.
She looks at the both of you, speaking in a language she doesn't know.
Yeah.
The thing that you just said about the fact that you trusted her, sitting in her brain, and then
I
you
fucking don't anymore.
and then you immediately I know, but then you immediately
Yeah.
spoke in a language she didn't understand, and she walks
Yeah.
off, and she goes.
can
and
I
she sits
can
on
I
the edge
catch
of the
this
ship.
look at all and just like
Sure. It's like a stinging.
Ooh. Yeah.
And she goes and she walks and she sits on the edge of the ship with her feet dangling off into the void.
Kind of put a hand on Reva's shoulder from behind. We were right here.
Have the tears from Rodella stopped?
Yeah, probably at this point. She didn't even realize they were happening, so.
I think I lean in and just sort of whisper to Rodella. I think, you know what? It's not a whisper. It's a little kiss. And then I stand up. Everything is all right. And I think I reach back to you, Tennant, and then like I kind of hold on to you for support a little bit as I get up.
Rodella is instantly up on your other side, kind of helping.
All right. And I think just out of caution, like in Riva's head, she just goes, "Yoo-hoo, are you still there?" And just sort of like expecting a sort of like a, just in case, like a little mind check, a little snoop around in the mind, just to double check to make sure it's not hiding behind any of the doors. And I think, I look over to all of you all. And then I think my eyes leave off at Rose.
I look pissed. Okay.
So what's the plan?
Don't get murdered.
I think a devilish grin flashes across Riva's face.
I think as you look at Rose, you can see there is just this moment where her eyes flick back to Ward, and I think you do see there is something akin to not like worry, not quite suspicion, but hesitance, I think now. Because Ward is in earshot. Well, we're getting close, right? So
We're 15 minutes out. I can get the engine going again, but if we need a minute, kind of shoots half a glance at the very frail mother and is quite visibly like disturbed by like the idea of Riva being anything close to frail.
Can I roll the clock that?
Sure.
Yeah, roll insight.
That's a 30?
Yes, ran all over their face.
I think Riva like takes like a very like there's some like bravado as she like puffs out the collar of her coat and then like looks around and like picks up her captain's hat and like plops it on her head. And then she like rolls her like shoulders back and like sort of cracks them a little bit. And then just sort of says, "We're 15 minutes away. I'm sure we won't be expecting a warm welcome after that."
Should we park at a distance and
Swim?
I just mean maybe we shouldn't show up with a big ship and draw attention.
I know how to park discreetly. It's alright.
Alright.
I wasn't aiming for the main dock.
Alright, Sass.
And if I can use the next 15 minutes to do a funky little tenant check and try and find some kind of stealthy cove or like secluded port that isn't, the main trading hub.
Go ahead and make me a funky little tenant check.
Yeah. 16 plus 12. So 28.
28? Oh yeah. You can find the perfect place to park. Everybody go ahead and make me a perception check as you're getting closer to the planet.
Oh man.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Feel so normal.
God damn.
Oh my god.
Fuck me.
27.
Whoa.
4.
19, another 28.
17.
Rodella's eyes haven't left Riva.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Fair and valid.
I think she keeps like reaching out, like, just impulsively, just to, like, check, like, you know, just, like, every once in a while, just look over, like, all the anger that Bradella had been storing up and all the fighting, gone. It's gone.
And what did Rose get?
19.
19, okay. So I think just Bradella got under like a 15, right?
Floor.
Yeah. I think we've talked about what Bradella's doing. My people who got under 20, you can look out onto this planet and you can see it almost looks like a wasteland. It is mostly sand and ruins as far as you can see. For those of you who got above a 20, you can see little pockets of like greenery, little pockets of activity, of lights on and buildings built. But there's not much on the surface that is not desolate. That's all. That's the end of my thing.
Looks great. Can't wait, really.
Quick, for the last, like, we're pulling up, you know. Ward is sitting, pouting on the side of the boat, and I have appointed myself her babysitter. So, I would love to just go and, like, just sling a leg over and sit next to her in awkward silence for, like, a good minute. Can I get, like, a vibe on how she's doing?
Sure, make an insight check.
Okay. The answer's probably bad, but, you know. 19.
Like the most similar feeling you've felt to what you think Ward is feeling right now is heartbreak.
Well, I don't have one of those. I don't know what that feels like at all. I can't possibly imagine. I think Ruby kind of just sits there in that like awkward quiet for a minute. And we'll pull one of the little pouches off of her Batman utility belt and just kind of hold it out, and it's full of trail mix, but with the M&Ms separated out because you can't give chocolate to birds. And it's just like, you want a snack?
Thanks. Kind of will grab a scoop.
Look, we've got trust issues. In case you hadn't gathered that. Everyone's on edge. Don't take it personally.
Trying not to.
You're doing a really impressive job. Most other people would have run screaming at this point.
I would have, but I don't have that luxury.
Right. Kind of like gets a faraway look for a split second. What was it like coming back?
Exciting.
Exciting. It wasn't like your alarm going off on the first day of school.
It was special. It makes you feel special. Like there's something that I can offer someone. No matter the harm I may have caused, someone still saw the potential for good in me. That feels really nice.
Makes sense. God, you're really not her.
You just figured that out?
I know you've been saying it the whole time, but, like I said, trust issues. I grew up thinking you were the devil.
Whoever the devil is, it's not me anymore.
Yeah, the devil was to begin with. I'll tell you what I said to Rose. I just told her I was going to keep an eye on you till it was done. Got a problem with that?
Make a persuasion check.
Alright.
See if she believes you.
Lesbian D20, please. My persuasion is in the negatives, because if there's one thing I don't have, it's charisma! Oh, I'm gonna use one of my DM inspirations on that, because that was not good. We're rolling again. Big money, big money. Oh, that was so much worse. That's an 8. The worst one was a 2.
You want to use another?
Fuck it! Use them or lose them.
You have like 30.
It's only 5, but now we'll be down to
so
3.
many.
That's fine. That's fine. That's still so many. Okay, that's better. That's a 15.
Right. No, I have no problem with that. And thank you for telling me.
Shit's fucked right now, but I don't know. I know you said you don't remember anything from around 30 years ago, but if we make it out of this, I've got some cousins who I think would really like to, I don't know, meet you. They're kind of fucked in their own way, but
I have a retirement.
tropical island or somewhere nice.
Titty moon.
I've been, but you know, here it's a lot of fun.
Stay there for a bit and then head to the Silesian system.
It's in the Silesian system.
Wellness and health.
Well, hope you find what you're looking for.
I've kind of given up hope on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
You know, the reason that I want it is because of what Rose said earlier about belief. About this crown sourcing its power from those who believe in it.
Yeah.
You've all seen the power. You all believe. But I don't. I think it's a piece of metal and gem. And that's
I think
all.
your count's wrong. I don't know if you recall, because I mean, I did have a knife at your throat at the time, but all this god shit. Oh. And kind of like glances back and looks at Reva. I grew up in the shadow of that. What god was gonna cast a bigger one?
She gives you a smile. A smile of like, I wish I could relate to you, but I have nothing to relate to.
Ruby eats some peanuts and waits for us to dock.
Just as we're docking, I think Tansbury is gonna reach out and kind of grab Rose by the edge of whatever she's wearing and kind of like tug her. I will kind of pull her in, and I don't know if it was the day before or like 2 days ago when he kind of stood at her back and kind of like had his arms around her over her hands, like placed on the helm.
Mhm.
Takes the same position up again, and I don't think Rose needs to like roll insight. I think she can feel that his palms are a degree or two colder than usual, and you can feel his heart like thudding at your back. And aside from, you know, the afternoon spent about a year previous under the, you know, foundations of their own home, both of you make a habit not to go underground in enclosed spaces. And I think the reality of that situation is very quickly approaching the two of you. And Tennant can't get what Ruby said to him out of his head. And it's just kind of like half kind of offering his own like presence and support, but half kind of like taking their own strength from you as well in this moment because they need it.
Yeah. I think when you kind of pull Rose over at first, I think the first thing you notice is you get like the faintest whiff of like orange blossoms, and you see there is some like gold streaking through the white in her hair. And I think you can see she's very much wearing the like, I'm not mad, I'm fine kind of expression. And the minute you sort of are like kind of holding her, it fades back a little bit. It's more like flower, like regular spring flower kind of smell in it. And I think when Rose like holds the wheel, she's white knuckling the whatever the fuck the handles. You know what I'm talking about. And just sort of like sighs, and like too much comes out as her shoulders fall. Like it's not confident, like burden gone. It's just like the fight leaves a little bit. And I think they just kind of like lean their head back a little bit and like thump it over your heart. This is gonna suck, yeah?
Well, this isn't your ideal holiday destination.
I mean, you know, on the list of places, it's not in the top 5, maybe the top 10. No.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I'm losing it then.
I think it's kind of like his chin is on the top, like the crown of your head, and he kind of like huffs out like a hot breath into like the crown of your hair and melts some of the frost on the flowers there.
Yeah.
But doesn't really say anything. Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. And I'm not going to kill Ward because we need her. So. That's the only reason, though.
Mm-hmm. You're so big and scary.
You're saying it in a tone of voice like you're mocking me, but I'm choosing to believe that you're not.
No, trust me, I've been terrified of you.
I mean, you don't have to be terrified of me, but everyone else, I don't know.
No, I quite like it.
Oh, well then, continue. And I think at this, we'll just like let go of the wheel and turn around and just hug you.
I think they kind of do like the oh, and then like a second later kind of wraps you up.
Yeah.
She'd just come back again anyways. Jurgen's got a thing with her, so.
Yeah, but it would be really cathartic, and I wouldn't have to worry because she'd come back. So I wouldn't carry, like, the emotional weight around, but I would get the catharsis of doing that.
Right.
You know? We'll see how it goes.
Well, because she said no to me? Really?
No, because... And I think here Rose kind of, like, pulls back a little bit just to look at you, and you can see the, like, frustration there. Because she acts like she's the only person who's made a sacrifice and will continue to do so, and I'm sick of it. She acts like she's the only person who's given anything up to be here. And like we all just weren't doing anything. I just put so much fucking magic into this. She could not have done that without me. And yeah, I couldn't have done it without her, but I'm not pretending like I could have. I said no. And that was very big for me. And I left our home and our kids. And I killed Emil. And I just would like a little fucking recognition for it, I guess. That's all.
I know.
It's fine. Just tired.
She's wrong if she thinks I could believe in anything more than I do you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Just... Yeah. I'm just so tired of feeling like I am a thing to be picked up and used and then discarded when I'm done. You are one of the only people who doesn't make me feel like that right now. But, I'm going to keep it together because we have to go underground. And if I fall apart right now, then I will be useless there. And something tells me that someone will need to pick me up and use me again before we're done. So...
I think all of this sentiment is so like Tennant's heard it before, but in this moment
Yeah.
it's so it hits so close to like this deep wound inside him that has been there since he's been 12 years old. And it just sticks his throat together and he's just so upset that he has failed to save you from this feeling. And I think can't really look at you and kind of like rests his chin on top of your head again just to avoid you seeing his face because it's just too much.
I
And
think
he tries to
Rose...
channel it into something else instead, and you feel that cold spot in his chest go very hot again.
I think Rose kind of reaches up and like wipes the frost off of her eyelashes from the tears that were sort of beginning to gather there and just leans in again and sort of like gives you a hug and wraps her arms around your middle and just presses a very gentle kiss to your throat and will just stay there while you're driving.
Oh. Yeah. I do an excellent parallel park.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you do.
I'm not even gonna make
I'm
any
helping a
check about
lot.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I turn all of that fury into the most exquisite parallel park of my life.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. No check required. You parked that shit expertly.
From where we are, do we see it all like an obvious like enter here cave hellmouth thing? Maybe with road signs. I don't know.
Make a perception check.
Sure. I sure would love to do that. I don't think this is my favorite terrain. Alright, it's just a regular one. That was a 23? No,
23.
24.
24.
I know.
Yeah,
Big
you can
difference.
see there's kind of like this little area a couple miles away from where you're parking where there's like tents and small little huts around this like big body of water and a cave.
Kind of turns back to the rest of the group as as everybody we've assembled everybody. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Avengers assemble.
Yeah. All right. Are we going for a stealthy approach? Walking right up. What's the vibe?
Stop. I think
Fantastic.
The less eyes we can attract, the better.
All right. Fantastic.
I will say no one's told Ruby Senior.
I was
but
just
No,
I was
we
just
haven't.
about
I
to
also
say,
just-
don't worry.
So
Yeah.
I think she, like, as the ship parks, will come out of her room onto the deck.
I think I look at Ruby, my sister. Again, one of the few times Tenant's looked you in the eye today, and kind of like then looks back at Ruby Senior, and then looks back at you again, like.
Kind of like glances at Ward and like, oh, what the fuck? I'm not fucking babysitting here. Yeah, I got this one. You take the other one.
Okay, fine. I think we'll walk over to
Asking for
Ruby
favors right
Senior,
what
and we'll
can
and
I-
we'll wait a beat before he says something, hoping that she's just gonna say it for it.
What can I do to help?
Keep an eye on the ship. It's a shitty job, but
I'll do it. Happy to.
appreciate it. Okay. Turns around. Can I speak to my okay, out of character question. Does Tennant's like ability to talk to the ship only exist when he's like on board?
Hey, James.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, I don't know.
Hey, real quick, it's just us in the room. Just a real quick world builder meeting.
I don't know if we've talked about that.
We haven't talked about it at all.
Maybe I'll just make a check about it, but potentially no.
But
Yeah, I'm fine with
I
it.
made this ship. I birthed
Sure,
it.
yeah, you can have to do whatever. I'll say you have to
That was
be
way easier.
within a certain mile radius of it, which I won't decide until later.
Okay. Okay, then
Because
just
you can't be like all the way across the fucking galaxy and be like,
no.
hey, I'm
Yeah.
Rose.
Okay, then I'll just send a little bit of a, you know, the door kick I did to Ward earlier. I do
Yeah.
a metaphorical one of those on the door inside my brain when my ship lives behind.
Hi.
Hi. I don't trust the lady looking after you, but what am I gonna do? We're short on people. If she tries to steal you, don't go.
No, I was
And
thinking
also-
about taking a nap, so
Okay, cool. Take a nap and do not wake up until I get back. Unless she tries to steal you, or I can't do it. Did I already talk to my ship about the fucky stuff happening? I cannot remember. I did.
yes.
Didn't. Okay. Can you just try and stay a little bit vigilant? Fucking how the fuck you say that word? Any other changes that happen or
I
don't
just
happen?
said I was gonna take a nap, so I'll be kind of busy.
Okay, well, don't take a nap then. Actually, maybe stay awake and do some work for once.
Oh, that's fucking rich coming from you. Okay.
What are you talking about?
Who totes you around the whole fucking galaxy?
Toast around.
Me.
I drive you. You wouldn't be going anywhere if I didn't fucking steer you correctly.
Oh, you want me to turn this ship around right now? Is that what you want from me?
You get nowhere without me, and you know it.
I'm gonna move.
Don't you dare.
Apologize to me. I'm gonna move.
I'm not gonna fucking apologize. You're my ship, all right?
The
I
ship
don't
starts
apologize to you.
creaking.
Fucking, I'm sorry, all right?
Thank you.
Fucking hate you. God. Just
I'll keep my eyes out.
keep at least one of your non-existent porthole eyes open for
Sure.
any fucky wacky stuff, and for the red tiefling who is not our sister to
Our sister?
shut up. I didn't mean that.
Yeah. I'll keep my eyes open.
Great.
But we're taking a break once we're home.
How many days has it been? It's like at 10 days.
I mean, because you went on your expedition, right?
Oh, I have to roll, yeah.
And then,
every
like,
time.
2 days after. This isn't a mechanic, we're taking a break. A mechanic,
Yeah,
we're
okay.
taking a break. This is just the ship going. Give me a fucking break, Tenant.
Yeah, trust me, my love. I would love a break too, alright? Sometimes we don't get that.
Okay.
We can have a break when we're home. Whatever.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck.
Shut up.
Fine, I take it back then. Bad luck.
Fine! I will! Oh, like, slams the gangplank down on the ground a little bit harder.
Ow!
You didn't feel that, shut up!
Maybe I did. You don't know.
Yes, I do, because I can feel what you feel.
Shut
Which
up.
is nothing! God. Okay. She was good on the Ruby. It was like, I saw it.
Great. Cool.
Right.
Good luck.
Yeah. Stealth, quietness, yeah. Alright, fine. Cast Pass Without Trace on the fucking group.
Nice.
Sure. And you all can start heading onto the surface of the sandy planet.
As we're leaving, can I just cast message to Ruby Senior and say thank you?
She kind of gives you a wink.
I also let Ruby Senior know there's a hot pot of tea waiting for her in the galley.
Good marine insight check.
One, two.
She gives you a flatter thank you than you'd expect. Maybe not even a thank you. Maybe just a thanks. Maybe not even 2 words.
A thanks with a period at the end, because that's like fucked up and evil.
No heart emoji.
Oh, dark side
God.
of
Oh,
behavior. That's it,
Here's the
guys.
thing,
She's
you know
evil.
Reva exclusively texts with periods, so
Oh,
like
yeah.
probably doesn't even.
All the correct punctuation.
Punctuation is an important part of language. How else are you going to communicate feeling through the written word?
Anyway, everybody starts walking off of the gangplank down to the cool planet.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So true.
That's totally not trying to kill us.
It's gonna be normal, and I'm gonna feel normal.
Yeah, you can start walking in the direction of this settlement. I will say, probably going to be a little bit more difficult to be stealthy when you're there. However, everybody roll a stealth check on your way there.
Oh, I'm
It's
so
a plus
good
10.
at
I had a plus 10.
Yes,
Everybody
you do get a plus 10.
Oh my god.
Play.
Oh my god.
I have plus 10,
Mhm.
44.
That's
Oh,
my
shit.
husband.
What
Yeah,
did you
30.
roll?
I rolled a 19 plus 15 plus 10.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's
Nice.
delicious.
I turn
Yeah.
into sand.
I got a 36.
Great,
29.
great.
Oh,
22.
That's above a 20. That's still great.
No, it's
21.
true.
21. Wow, great. Everybody, you move through the sand effortlessly, unbothered. You see a couple people moving by on camels. They don't pay you any mind. Yeah, that's
We
right.
don't
it's a
even leave
desert desert.
tracks.
Hell yeah. I was gonna
Dude,
say this is
you
some
don't-
Dune shit, alright?
I've got a
And,
broom.
yeah.
I'm sweeping our tracks up as we go.
So Chelsea put in the chat, Tenant never existed. Tenant shelves back into the Pirate King campaign.
Christ.
Tenant goes back to the Shattering.
Do not put that boy in that timeline.
Oh,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
I would never. Yeah, you head up to this settlement. There are a couple of people kind of milling in and about. Some people like drawing water from the well. Some people like having some soft conversations. It appears to be around like midday. So there are some people cooking lunch over like an open flame.
I would love to establish that the Crowcolts have not just rocked up in their like Crowcolt crime outfits with like their horns on display, like slow-mo walking through the sand. Like, I reckon we would have taken the precaution if we're not if those of us who can't disguise selves and do that shit, like Tenant's at least wearing a cloak with like a scarf around like the lower half of their face and the hood pulled up and like you know.
Yeah, that's a great question. Are people disguising themselves?
I mean, yeah.
Maybe not yet, but at least the
Yeah.
cloak and
Clothing
covering.
wise?
I think it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
nondescript.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Great. There is like a little like not like caution tape, but like fantasy caution tape around like the entrance to the cave. Cause like yeah, you get the sense that it's like taped off, but not in a permanent way, just in a way that like you have to be very deliberate if you want to go there. And people will know if you go down there. And yeah, I think that you get the attention of an individual. This is a drow with deep purple skin, and like a short cropping of white hair that's like, it looks like at one point half of it was shaved, but at this point it's been growing out. So it's still not as long as the other half of their hair, but it's like a little shaggy. They've got many layers on. Kind of the outermost layer is this like brown plaid skirt that's like picked up with skirt hikes, so you can see a little bit of like the white layer underneath. Has like an evergreen color corset over like a white flowy shirt. Some like jewelry dangling from their brown belt that's kind of like cinching everything together. Looks over at you all. Newcomers. Welcome to Mercalo.
Thank you.
How can we help you?
Kind of like looks to the group and realizes no one else is saying anything.
I mean, I think Tana's looking at Rose like, you're the guy who speaks.
I got it. Don't even worry about it, you guys. I'm in a really good mental health space to do this right now. It's fine.
I think if it's all right, before we
Yeah.
go any deeper, like I think I want to like come up next to Rose to like at the front of the party, and I just say, if it's all right, we're just here on a little pilgrimage.
Two.
And to pay our respects. Have there been other pilgrims that have arrived?
Just gives you like this blank stare. Pilgrims to where? To Mercalo?
Yes, to Markala.
We had a couple Kuatoa get here a couple days ago, but they left the day before that, so no newcomers though. not entirely the best place to visit in the galaxy. People don't really come here.
Mark Hollow has been nothing but hospitable. Would you care to show us to where the Kuatoa were staying? We follow.
Just kind of points to the cave. Down there, I suppose. I didn't follow them. I don't entirely like it down there.
Why not?
It's dark.
Quick, as we had,
I squints at the drow and is like, "You don't like the dark."
No, that's why I moved up here.
Falls back into Rose's like.
quickly before I ask this random stranger questions, so desert planet, but like there's like little pockets of green, just with the little that Ruby knows about ecology of planets that aren't Durithium. Can I tell at all, like, to me, the human guy, I'm like, something fucked this planet up real bad. Like, is there any kind of like check or anything that I can make to try to like
Make a
determine if
history
this is
check.
just, would you say history?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm not great at it, but we're gonna see what happens.
You got it. You got it.
It's not a
You're right.
negative modifier, so that's a fucking
Hey!
16?
You rack your brain. You think a little bit about events that may have fucked a planet up.
I'm thinking like famine. I'm thinking like, I don't know what I'm thinking. You tell me what I'm thinking, Reed, actually.
I'll
You
tell
tell
you what
me.
you're thinking.
Yeah.
Like 760 something years ago, there was a big shattering.
There surely was. There surely was that.
The whole galaxy was changed.
That so happened, yeah.
That might have had something to do with it.
Crazy. Cool, very
thought.
cool, very cool. I don't know, it was that long ago. The answer might be no, but like as we have been like walking to this place and like approaching it from above, am I able to like, I don't even know what I'm asking here. Like, would I have any kind of grasp on like what, if it was like naturally occurring or otherwise, might have happened to make this place like this? Or is that kind of beyond the scope of what I can tell?
Probably the shattering.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Just the shattering. Good.
I'm not withholding information from you. That's all I've got.
I get it. Yeah, Brie, I do mean like climate change. That's it. Thing that I'm famously a fan of. Okay, that's fine. I don't know. There are deserts in the United States that used to be oceans, so I was just trying to figure that out.
No, so
Yeah.
I'm not. Please, that's not me being
Yeah.
like, Diana,
No,
you're so silly. No, that's just all I got.
Cool. I'll take it.
On a similar subject, I just had a light bulb over the head moment about my own character backstory that I forgot about because it's been so long. Can I make some kind of check? I was at one point training to be, the sovereign of a very influential place, not too far from here. Can I make some kind of check to see if I know anything about the government system of Mercalo?
Sure. You pick what type of chick that is. 'Cause I don't know. There's no
Maybe like
government
a
shit.
maybe like a funky little rest check. Maybe like a history.
Yeah, that's fine. Works for me.
Okay. All right, dice. I'm using my talent die because normally when I announce it, I roll well, and I did. That is so true. The talent die just needs attention, and I respect that. That's a 28.
Sure. You would know that the planet of Mercalo is kind of ruled by 5 different people who kind of
Okay.
have their own control over their own sections of the planet.
Sure.
4 of those individuals and those sections of the planet are underground. And there's
Cool.
one like house that's above ground. And yeah, you would know that there's not a lot of like collaboration between the houses. It's very much like everybody keeps to themselves and doesn't really bother anybody else. Yeah. Is there anything else you have questions about from that?
Would I know, and I don't necessarily need this list now, but just so I know if I can reference it later, would I know anything about like ruling family names or like anything that if it came to it, like I could leverage as like, oh yeah, I've heard of so and so who's in charge of this house that we're in.
I think you would know the Hunsren family, House Hunsren, who you would know because the founder moved to Mercalo originally from Everglen.
Oh, interesting.
Are
Are they underground, above ground?
underground?
Okay.
Yeah, and you would know the name of the current leader, who is Ziliana, which is Zilyanna. And Hunsren is Hunzrin.
Do I know anything about Ziliana other than that they moved from Everglen?
No, so Ziliana is not the founder.
The house.
Just the current leader. Yeah. The
with
child
you.
of the original founder of the house.
Cool.
I think you would know that well, number one, they use they she pronouns.
Hell yeah. Sorry.
Number two, I think maybe you'd know that the Hunsren house dictates like control over the largest part of Mercalo, besides the surface. I'd say the largest part of the underground.
Okay.
And yeah, I think is probably also one of the only houses that like interfaces with the world outside of Mercalo.
Cool. Let me write that down, sorry.
You're good.
Just got one little hand and it's so slow. In that interfacing, would I have any idea if they have a good relationship with Everglen? Or if I were to show up hypothetically and say, hey, I'm a princess, would they shoot me on sight? Like, what's the relationship there?
I would say the relationship is neutral.
Okay. I can work with that.
I think you would know that the founder, whose name is Amaya, Amaya, left not because of any bad blood or ill will, just wanted to go somewhere else.
Okay.
And yeah.
Cool.
People aren't like talking shit about the Hunsrens and Everglen. They're just like, oh shit, you remember that super rich family that just left? Yeah, I do.
love a super
Wonder
rich
what
family.
happened to them. I don't know. I heard they moved underground.
Literally.
If I may ask,
You may.
if they have contact with the outer worlds, or like, outside of this planet, are they involved in any crime
Crime?
stuff? Crime, you say?
They're not.
They're rich people and they're underground and there's no crime involved?
Correct.
Alright, and is this
That sounds to me like an opportunity.
That's what I'm saying.
Free real estate, right?
Did you
there.
hear that? Okay, great. Fantastic. And this is not a crime territory of any, this is an expansion.
Yeah, no one's claimed, no crime family has claimed Mercalo. No criminal organization is like, this is my territory, you don't touch it. It's kind of like its own place.
That thought flits across Riva's mind. Sorry.
I think Rosa will kind of look back to the group, trying to judge if anybody else has a question before she says what they're about to say. Okay. I, James, didn't want to be like, and here's the thing that could close the conversation. Eat shit, my friends.
Yeah, because that's how we'd read that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm excited. Okay. I think Rose kind of like looks at this individual and just says, we're here to speak with the Hunsren, House Hunsren, the Hunsren family. Would you be able to point us in that direction? I know you don't like it underground, so if not, it's perfectly fine.
You're making your... Looks at Reba, squints their eyes. Pilgrimage to the Hunzrans?
I kind of pokes out of Rose again and kind of points at Reba and is like, and then
This person just like nods in understanding. Yeah, they'll be the first people that you run into underground. You literally can't miss them. It's like right there.
Great.
But like, if you're talking to like the Hunzrans, you'll see it. It's like a big fucking castle in like the center of their place. You'll find
Right.
it.
And do you know what looks at the fantasy costume tape? What's with this? Has there been a crime committed recently?
Oh no. So that was checks. No, that was Murbad. Basically, we're here because we don't like it under there, right? So we don't
Right.
want people from under there being able to like sneak up on us, and we don't want people from up here trying to like sneak down there. It's like, it's not the cleanest and most stable of like alliances that we have with everyone that's down there. So
Right.
we just like the extra warning. It's alarmed.
Oh, okay. Is there a different entrance we should be using?
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
want
no.
to disturb your Catholic.
I can let you through.
Great. I'm so sorry. What was your name? I don't want to be rude. Don't worry about it.
I thought I was gonna get away scot-free.
It's Gluger.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Neryl.
Neryl. Cool. Very nice to meet you, Neryl. Would you like us to put in a good word? Not that we have
No,
any
you're
sway.
good.
Okay, well then I won't.
I'm
So there you go.
just here. You can all see in the dark, yeah?
Yeah. I guess we're about to find out. Oh god. Oh fuck.
shit.
Well,
I think Tennant with glowing eyes just says, enough of us can.
It's fucking dark down there.
You have an arcane eye.
I do.
That sees in the dark.
Does it?
Is
Oh.
it not?
don't
I
think
feel
that
like
was-
if Tennant
See
made it,
invisibility,
it
but I
would
can't
have.
see.
I don't think
Yeah.
that was a feature that we discussed.
No, I don't. I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That seems wild, though. Like, why would you make a magic eye that doesn't have dark vision?
Sure. Rodella, your one eye can see in the dark.
Yeah, just close one eye.
I'm walking around.
Hey, I'm just gonna say, if we're canonizing that you have to do that to see in the dark, I am gonna give you disadvantage on attack rolls that you make in the dark.
Oh my
Either figure out
God.
some way to see with both eyes, or you can't just walk around like
Is this
and
person-
expect to be
I
Is this
all the
person
time.
offering something? Like,
Yes.
I think Rodella, like, okay. I think Rodella just kind of like holds up a hand, like, do you have means of
Yeah.
goggles or something?
Yeah, we got goggles of night. Hey, Murbad. And you see a deep gnome who also has like this pale purpley skin. Murbad is a small person because they're a gnome. Looks like they're literally drowning in the clothes that they're wearing. Has like this big overcoat that's brown. Has this like wizard hat that's also brown, that's way too big for their head, with like this big red feather. Has like a pair of goggles on their forehead, a pair of goggles on the hat, a pair of goggles around the neck. Just kind of like pokes his head up from the campfire that she's cooking dinner at. Hey! Hi! I'm Murbad. Welcome. Hey, they just need goggles, if you could help them. Oh, yeah, no, I got you. Good luck down there. It sucks. And he runs into their tent. Goes and grabs a matching pair of goggles to the 3 that they have adorned on himself, and walk up and hand it to you, Rodella, and holds out a hand.
Right. I think she'll. How much?
No, I'm just shaking hands.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Murbad Lilin. Nice to meet you. Any all pronouns. This is my house. House Pralp. Nice to meet you all. I'm
Thank you for the
in
goggles.
charge here. You're welcome. You're welcome. Here's the thing is I hate it down there, but that doesn't mean that you have to. And we like to make sure that people, we're kind of like the first stop between the outside world and the Underdark. And so I like to make sure that people are like fully prepared to experience the horrors that they will down there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel better equipped.
Anytime. I'm gonna go back to
Rodella
roasting my
puts
chicken
the
now.
goggles on and just kind of like throws a look at the others. Like,
Wow, nice goggles, Mom.
You can, if you had made
No,
this
they
eye see in
really-
the dark.
they really see you. They go great with your everything.
Next time you make me an eye, maybe throw in some extra features.
What's the point of making just one eye that can see in the dark? Right?
I think Rodella puts the goggles in and just starts walking over.
Oh, okay. We're going now. You guys are ready?
Any advice on the horrors? What we go?
Murbad just says that because he
Oh,
wants
okay.
people to stay here. Like it
Right,
sucks.
I thought-
Like I hate it,
Okay.
but like that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it's like
Yeah, we know that you
dangerous.
guys hate it.
Right,
You've said
okay.
it several times.
Okay. You don't have to have an attitude.
I was literally. I just. What?
That's
was
just
so
his
told.
face.
I'm not gonna say that Riva does this, but I do imagine Riva poking out and going to Tennant, like mirroring the way that Tennant just did it to Riva. Okay. Yeah. Just like I don't know. Don't piss anyone off.
I really
got it.
And
Hadn't crossed our minds.
if you get lost, good luck.
Don't.
And starts walking in the direction of the cave mouth.
Tara's gonna take Reva by like the elbow and go, "Come on, Mom, we're gonna do the pilgrimage, yeah."
I think I make it a point to step on your toes at every opportunity I get.
Jesus Christ. We'll take the fantasy caution tape and like carefully pull it off. Point in the direction of the cave mouth. There you go. Good luck. Hopefully
Thank you.
see you
It'll
when
help.
you're leaving. But if not, then enjoy your stay forever.
I think Rodella adjusts her goggles and her eyes are just like magnified. You're all like one glowing mechanical eye, just like shimmering, and then
It's like what's his name from Pixie Hollow? Was it?
Oh my
Bobble?
god.
Bobble.
Mhm.
Plank? Yeah.
yes. Let's go. Just starts walking down.
Sure.
Great.
And you all can start walking down the kind of rocky formations. It's not like stairs, it's not like a ladder, but slowly but surely you all can carefully descend into the Underdark. And as your eyes all adjust to the low lighting, to the glowing flora and fauna, that is where we're going to end our episode for today. You finally made it!
We're doing it.
I was
We're
really,
doing it.
really at some point halfway through the episode concerned that we weren't going to get there this episode. I'm so glad that we did. Thank you all so much for joining us. We missed you a lot. But don't worry, because we'll be back next week for the next episode. So join us on Wednesday for Reverie. We'll see you on Sunday for Crow Lane. And until next time, caw
Caw-caw.
Caw-caw.